Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our webinar. We'll be looking at NLBC and City and Guilds and the partnership that we're developing together. We'll take you through both websites and we'll have a closer look at the technicals delivery timeline, and then we'll take some questions. My name's Sarah Purdell and I'm the Programme Development Manager at the National Land-Based College, and with me I've got B.S. Dale, and she's the City and Guilds Technical Advisor for Land. So, NLBC and City and Guilds have been, actually, I've realised I've forgotten something very important before I started. I need to take you through a few technical things. All viewers will be in listen-only mode. If you want to engage with us and ask questions later on, you can use the on-screen panel. You can use the question and chat tabs to engage with us as well. And the webinar will finish at 3 p.m. We'll do our best to answer all of the questions in the time that we've got available, but if not, we'll be providing a recording of the webinar and a question and answer sheet to address any of the unanswered questions. So NLBC and City and Guilds have come together through a common ambition to support colleges and providers in facing government reforms to the skills system and create a skilled workforce needed to meet the demands of the UK land-based sector. We've designed land-based technical qualifications to increase skills levels in the land-based sector, and together we've worked with industry to develop the qualifications that employers have needed and to be able to give learners the skills that they need to thrive in the workplace. We're going to give you a tour of both websites so that you can easily find the relevant sections and supporting documents. We'll be doing the tour of the NLBC website first, and then follow up with the City and Guilds website. We'll then take you through the key dates and milestones that you need to be aware of throughout the year, and then we'll have time for questions afterwards. As I've already said, if there's a lot of demand for questions, we'll do our best to get through them and answer them all, but it might be the case that we take some of them away and we'll compile a question and answer fact sheet, which will circulate after the webinar. Yeah, I think that's it. So if I take you through to the National Land-Based College website, this is our homepage, and you'll see that if you scroll down, you can access some of the pages that way. We've got information about our strategy, about the different sectors, and our member colleges. But if I take you back to the top of the website, the most straightforward way is through the tabs along the top. And the first thing that I want to point out to you is that all of the information about the specialist land-based colleges on our website has been provided by our members, so your colleges. And we've really tried to do our best to make sure that this is up to date and as accurate as possible. But if you spot anything during this tour or later on when you're browsing the website, then please do let us know. My colleague Luke will be glad to hear of any feedback or suggested changes, because we really want to make this a shop window for your colleges and your courses. So yeah, please do offer any feedback that you think might be relevant. So the first section that I want to take you to is the Education and Training tab, and we have a specific section that we've really only just added to the website for the technical qualifications that we've been working on with City and Guilds. So you'll see if I click on that tab, it'll take you through to the technical qualifications page, and if you scroll down, you're able to see all of the level 2 and level 3 land-based qualifications listed. You can also search these qualifications by sector as well and filter out, or you can search using keywords. You are also able, for a specific qualification, to click on the Learn More tab, and this will take you to some of the detail of the qualification, some of the purpose and compulsory topics, and any other information there that's relevant. You will also be able to click through to the handbook of the qualification just here at the bottom, or link through to the City and Guilds website for the relevant section for this specific qualification. Something else that I'd like to point out to you, which I think might be quite useful, is our course search facility. So again, we've got all of the courses listed that are offered by our member colleges. You are able to do the same filter course search by sector and also by keywords. So for example, if I click on agriculture, crops and livestock, all of the courses relevant to that heading will appear, and you can click through and go to the relevant website. Finally, I want to take you through to the careers section of the website, and this is something that we feel is quite unique. We've worked really hard to gather all of the relevant information about land-based careers under one umbrella, and this is something that's quite unique at the moment. We don't think there's anything else on the web that offers the same sort of service. So you're able to search again the different sectors for land-based, and if I select forestry and arboriculture, for example, all of the careers initiatives that come under that heading appear, and you can link straight through to those. Just a couple more things to mention before I hand over to B. We've got an industry section of our website as well. At the moment, we've been launching our industry skills groups, and these groups are going to be really important to us. NLBC really seeks to be employer-led, so we're going to be using our industry skills groups as a sounding board for all of the qualifications development work that we're doing with City and Guilds. So if in your colleges you have any employer links who you think might be relevant, who might want to engage with these groups, then please direct them to this section of our website, ask them to have a look at the information, and perhaps fill out the application form that's available online. Finally, we've got our NLBC registration scheme, and this is really for students, for staff, for people at the beginning of their career, or even midway through. We're asking people to register with us so that we can keep you up to date with information on courses, training and careers guidance opportunities that arise, and also to keep you up to date with NLBC and everything that's going on. At the moment, the registration scheme offers automatic membership to the Chartered Institute of Horticulture for those that it's relevant to, and we're also working with the NFU for a similar free student membership as well. And I think that's pretty much everything covered from the NLBC website, but I would encourage you all to go and have a good look. Our partners page talks about our relationship with City and Guilds, as well as Landex and our member colleges and universities. So there's lots more information on there available. You can check out our strategy in the About Us section. There's the full document available to read as well. So I think that's enough from me for the moment, and I'll hand over to B so she can give you a similar tour of the City and Guilds website.
Okay, good afternoon everybody. This is the landing page for our City and Guilds website, with which many of you will be familiar. What I want to do today is actually show you how to get to the resource part of the technicals website to give some of the overview guidance to the qualifications that we offer. So the easiest way to do that is to head for the technicals and tech back piece on top of the red bar, which brings you onto the technical quals and tech back landing page. If you take yourself just a little way down, you will come to the technical qualifications description, and then halfway down the resource and support to assist centre delivery tab, which I will click. It's here that you will find a number of resources that will aid you with delivery for this year, and this has been very much updated from what was available last year. The first thing that I suggest you look at, for those of you that have not already received it by email from our marketing department, is the Technicals Welcome Pack for 2017 and 2018. We'll just work our way into it. This pack contains all the information that you will require to enable you to deliver the technicals this year. Detailed and indexed here. When you go through the pack, it contains hyperlinks to all the relevant documents. If I go back to the resources and support page, you will also see there that there are guides on how to book assessments using the walled garden. There's a video to show you how to book assessments. Additionally, there is considerable information on our Key Stage 4 technical awards that some of you may well have links with schools we're delivering currently. This content has only been added in the last couple of weeks and is new, so worth having a look at. Additionally, within here you will find the exams timetable for 2018, which will clarify exactly what is to be taken and when. If you take yourself further down the resource page, you will find curriculum plans which are for land currently being updated, and we hope to have a couple more on the website next week. You will also find the very specific Employer Involvement Centre guidance, the planner and tracker, and the exemplar, which needs to be completed at the end of each academic year. Preparation and onboarding support are available from myself, and we're looking to expand that, as well as providing support within centres. We are looking at using this format to provide subject-specific guidance going forward, if that is something that meets with demand. Can I also draw your attention to these guides here? These are vital. So the Moderation Portal Centre Guide will explain to you exactly how to upload completed work. The Employer Involvement Centre Guide we've already mentioned, as it was mentioned above. The Marking and Moderation Guide contains all the information you need for the marking of the Synoptic Assignment specifically. And the Teaching, Learning and Assessment Guide will give you hints, tips and pointers for subject delivery. What we're going to do now is have a look at how you find specific qualification information. Now, obviously, from the National Land-Based College website, you can jump into qualification handbooks from there. However, you can also go in through, I'm going to go back to the home page in a second. So, I've lost it. Having mouse issues here. Right. Actually, it's landed on the land-based services page, which is tutoring. And we're going to go back to the home page first. If you are looking for the land-based landing page as an overview, you need to go to the NLBC Collaboration tab. Click on that, find out more, and that brings you to our overview land-based services landing page. Just like to stress, this is not just technicals. This contains everything from dog grooming to vet nursing to certificates of competence and chainsaws and tractors, etc. It contains all the information underneath all of these tabs. As far as the specific qualifications are concerned, you can either go in through this method and hunt for your technical amongst the number of agricultural qualifications that we have, or you can go and you can use these specific 4-digit codes and find the page through the search box at the top, which for the purposes of this I will show you. So for the qualifications, all have a landing page which start off with an overview information page which will explain when the first teaching of qualifications is, which countries are allowed to deliver the qualification, because obviously these are not, although they've been developed through English Department for Education guidelines to meet the English funding rules, these qualifications are also available for delivery in Wales and Northern Ireland and have been approved separately by their separate education departments. General information is available for all, and keep clicking onto the tabs and you will find more and more information available to you. So for example, this will give you the QAM number, it gives you guided learning hours, it gives you your total qualification time, it gives you the key stage, etc. Also gives the last certification date as it stands currently. Similarly for level 3, again, if I just go into the advanced technical certificate, it will give you guided learning hours, the key stage. I've just spotted the deliberate mistake here because there are UCAS points obviously for this. Oh, there we go. And they've been added here, as you can see. If we go back to the top of the page and go into the documents page instead, you will see that there are a number of various pieces of information that are available. So if we go into level 2 first, you will see that it's split into centre documents and assessment documents. The centre documents will provide you with the qualification handbooks. In this case there are 2. One is the level 2 technical certificate in agriculture, the other the level 2 technical certificate in land-based engineering. This is because they have to have the same 4-digit identification code. In addition to this, you will find your assessment documents. And those assessment documents here have been provided as samples and sample questions. And you will have this year's live synoptic already published, which you are able to access straight away. Assessment materials, that's the candidate feedback form. Moving into level 3, again, it's just a case of really clicking your way through. You will see that you have all of your optional units listed, as well as your past papers, which you can access from last year and use as mock material for this year. Note 2, within these you will also have Chief Examiner's reports, which make very good reading from a teaching perspective. Again, your live synoptics are there, so last year's synoptic is there to be used as an example. Your synoptic for this academic year is available here. And again, centre documents at the bottom, which will be all the qualification handbooks. Note with agriculture or land-based engineering, there is a stated minimum resource requirement that is already here on the website, and for any centres considering going down that route, you do need to have a good look at that before putting qualification approval in. All of the qualification landing pages have similar information to this. I will take you to animal management and equine, not least because there are version Bs in some of the optional units, and I know there have been a number of questions asked about which version you should be doing. The answer to that is you do either, and as you'll see, you've got version As and version Bs provided for you. So it may well be worth having a look and deciding which version suits your centre. It could be that for some optional units you will choose version A, it could be you could choose version B for others. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You may use either or to suit your centre need. So what we're going to do now is move on to the timeline and go through that to show what needs to happen when. That timeline is available in 2 formats. It's actually in the technical welcome pack. It's listed as a key date document on about the 2nd page, but we also have a checklist for delivery, which has been provided in a more graphic form. So for this year, registrations are already open for all of our programmes. The deadline for registration for learners is October the 31st. Booking for the spring exam series will open on the 1st of November, and it will also open for booking the synoptic assignments. Just remember, when booking exams, you do need to identify whether you want that exam to be on paper or whether you want it to be online. For the level 2s, you will not be able to book the online on-demand exams until January the 2nd, 2018. In fact, I think that has been identified specifically here. Deadline for booking the spring exam series is December the 15th, and December the 15th is also the deadline for booking synoptic assignments, optional assignments, and any other centre components. So with LAND, for learners on a one-year programme, by the time you've got to December the 15th, you need to have told the system that you are doing the work experience, the employer involvement, the health and safety, which optional units you're doing, if you have optional units within your programme, and which exam you are doing, and which synoptic you are doing. And that will be for each learner. Obviously, each subject is slightly different. Therefore, this is something that perhaps needs to be put together a little bit earlier than the 15th, so it can be shared with exams in good time. January the 2nd, 2018 is both the opening date for booking the multiple choice exams for the level 2 on demand. It's also, and this is key that you are aware of this, you are allowed to start assessing and collecting evidence for the synoptic assignment for all subject areas from January the 2nd. This is a major change from last year, when evidence could not be collected or start to be collected until the beginning of February. So that's something that I hope you will take note of and find useful. You'll note here that the slide says that the first spring exam series begins. Just a reminder, this checklist is actually for all subject areas. It's not just for LAND, it's for everything that we offer. And our LAND spring window doesn't open until the 6th of March. You will have seen where the technical timetable is on the website, and all of the exams are listed there. Once the exams are completed, the results are then released to centres. You then have a short opportunity to book for resits and or learners taking exams for the first time. We are fully aware that learners, particularly on 1080 programmes and maybe 720s too, may not actually use that first exam opportunity. They may well go for the second exam opportunity, such that if a resit is required, it can be taken in the second year rather than the first year, so that the learner doesn't spend their 2 strikes and you're out too soon. Results of the second exam series are released to centres on May the 14th. And note, May the 18th is the deadline for uploading and submitting evidence for the synoptic assignment. Remember, the guidance for this is in the moderation portal guide, which I showed you a little bit earlier. The summer exam series starts on May the 21st. For LAND, it's actually a little bit later than that. The deadline for booking those exams is actually the 25th. There is some overlap, and again, this is to do with the fact that we're looking at more than one subject area, not just LAND-based. June the 15th is the critical date for uploading any additional evidence that's required. So as it stands, you will be uploading one piece of additional mandatory evidence. So that could be the work experience portfolio, it could be the health and safety paper, or if you have an animal management and or equine learner at level 3, it could be their biology. It will also be the employer involvement for learners on a 1-year course. Additionally, on that day, where there are optional units, that is the date when your optional units will be uploaded. Again, it is only 1 optional unit per cohort. So for subjects that have 2 or 3 optional units, you will only be uploading 1. Note that the 15th of June is the deadline for that. If you have an optional unit completed for a cohort before that date, it is recommended that you actually upload the required evidence before that date to ensure that the system is not overloaded on that last day. The final exams finish on the 28th of June, and then it's a case of results release. The 6th of August is the results release for level 3, and the 13th of August is the results release date for level 2. Something to bear in mind, which was perhaps not communicated as clearly as it could have been this year, results will actually start to filter onto the walled garden before that final date, because of the number of components that are making up some of these qualifications. But that is the date when you will get the actual final awarding grade. One last piece of information that I need to share with you is the importance of signing up to the email alerts that we have. It is the best way of finding out what is going on quickly. At the bottom of every single City and Guilds page, you have an email updates link. Click into this, click into sign up today, and away you go. If you sign into this, it will take you through a number of steps which will enable you to personalise which updates you receive. So it may be that as well as land, you might want some apprenticeship updates, some English and maths updates. They will all be added to you, and you can alter this at any time. You can make it bespoke to you. You do not have to be a senior manager, etc., to sign up to this. Anybody can sign up to receive those email updates as long as they find them useful. So that concludes my tour through the website and the tour through the timeline. So it's now a case of seeing whether there are any questions.
Okay, so we haven't had any questions come through just yet, but if there's any questions that you want to ask while we have our experts on hand, just write them in the question bar on the panel, and we can answer them for you. We'll just give that a couple of minutes in case there's anything coming through. Okay, so the first question we've got that's come through is exam dates for theory exam are showing as early March. This is much earlier than last year and will be put on a lot of pressure and teams to teach all the outcomes within this time. Is this date correct?
The dates are correct on the exam timetable. These dates were agreed with Landex and the National Land-Based College Steering Group. If you look within the qualification handbooks, you will note that the content that is being examined has been reduced in all subject areas to reflect this.
Okay, the next question is, where can we access the passwords for the examiner's reports?
My understanding is the walled garden. However, I will check that and get back to you. But that's, yeah, walled garden.
Please could you confirm the window for booking June exams? Is it only that one day?
No, it will be before that date, but we can clarify that.
When will the moderation of Synoptic Practical Element be released?
Not sure.
When will the dates for the moderation of Synoptic Practical Element be released?
So what will happen is, if I'm understanding the question correctly, the moderation team will contact the centres to notify them of who their moderator is, and then the moderator will be in touch with the centre or vice versa to negotiate a date for them to visit. Visiting moderation as it stands is for level 3 qualifications, not for level 2.
Okay. Following release of results, is there a post-results option for students that have not obtained the expected result? So following following release of results, is there a post-results option for students that have not obtained the expected result?
There is nothing formally documented. However, there have been some appeals this year that are being worked on currently.
What evidence is required to complete and submit a work experience portfolio?
The key evidence for both level 2 and level 3 is documentation and proof that the 150 hours of work experience have taken place. There will be some supporting material uploaded to the website shortly to enable centres to have some idea of what to use. However, the majority of centres are already producing work experience handbooks, which more than meet the requirement of the minimum 150 hours.
The timeline was mainly for a 1-year program. How does the timeline change if we run level 3 as a 2-year course?
It wouldn't. The key thing to remember there is the only bits that you tell the system you are going to do are the bits that you're going to do in that academic year. So, for example, if the work experience and the employer involvement were not going to be carried out in academic year 1, then you would not book them for academic year 1, therefore they would not show for requiring moderation. Similar with the optional units. So if a 2-year program has 5 optional units and you're only doing 2 optional units in year 1 and 3 in year 2, then ideally you would book the 2 for the year 1 and not book the others until the following academic year. We had a couple of scenarios this year where centres had booked all of the optional units for this year, even though 1 or 2 of them were not going to be completed until year 2. Moderation support have picked up on that, and the individual centres have fed back to confirm what they are doing, and so that's fine.
Does an employer giving a guest talk count as employer involvement if the students ask questions afterwards?
It can count as employer involvement because it's the fact that the employer is engaging with the learners in the first place. So, for example, Wiltshire College had a farrier come in and he actually gave a demonstration of a dissection on a horse's leg, and that was a key example of employer involvement.
What does the achievement look like on walled garden for these candidates? Do they get qualification conferred against each part of the technical, or pass or fail?
That one will need to go back to the exams team.
The synoptic assessments state for animal they must be completed in 4 weeks. Does this mean 4 calendar weeks or working weeks? I.e., can we use 2 weeks before Easter and 2 weeks after Easter? Can we release individual tasks separately for synoptic?
I will get clarity on the 4 weeks. because expressing my personal opinion is not there, but as far as releasing tasks individually, if they wish to do that, they can. But there's nothing to stop them sharing the whole assignment with the learner from the beginning of January.
Please, could you confirm what you meant by booking the option units?
Exams need to tell the system through the walled garden which optional units a learner is taking in an academic year, because then the moderator knows what they are going to be looking for, and we know what you're doing. So it's very much an upfront system as opposed to the QCF qualifications where everything was loaded at the end.
Okay, so this question, I think it's just a little bit more clarification. Are there opportunities for resets, and if so, how many opportunities are there? So the Department for Education rule is that a learner is allowed 2 attempts only to pass an exam and 2 attempts only to pass the synoptic assignment. We provide 2 exam opportunities within the academic year. With a synoptic assignment, there is not a second opportunity within an academic year, and we have a very small number of learners that didn't get through the synoptic assignment this year who are going to retake that synoptic assignment in this current academic year, which they are perfectly entitled to do. But the 2 strikes and you're out rule is not City and Guilds, it's very clear Department for Education. Do centres need to identify and disclose access arrangement requirements for learners in advance of synoptic assessment?
You need to have those records available should they be questioned. But if a learner has been given access arrangements for the exam, extra time because of word processing disorder, dyslexia, etc., it would be expected that they would be given that same amount of time, percentage-wise, to the synoptic assignment.
Okay, this one. More clarification, please. If learners see the whole synoptic assignment in January, how do you keep it to the 4 weeks?
Because you're only assessing them within that period.
So a lot of the tasks need to be carried out under controlled conditions.
Well, they all need to be carried out under
so
controlled
it's only,
conditions. It doesn't matter that they know what it is.
No, it's only that part of the work that's being assessed.
Yeah.
Are many centres running the 540 quals as year 1 option, with the second year being 1080, or are there combinations of synoptics and exams proving to be difficult?
No, the majority of centres in the last academic year went with the 540 route for the majority, and a few registered straight onto the 1080. As far as whether they had difficulty or not, that's something that their centres would share with each other rather than necessarily share with us, although that is something that we would like to do, is to have some sharing best practice and sharing experience events. But I believe that Landex are already doing that within their subject-specific days.
That's all the questions that have come through. We'll just give it another couple more minutes. Oh, we've just got another one here. Does a reset learner just come in January to reset, or do they start the program again?
So somebody, well, that's entirely up to the college. That's not controlled by us. That would depend on the program of study that's being provided for that learner. So the examples I know of, there is a learner who's going to be doing the work-based level 3 and then redo their level 2 synoptic assignment in January, and the college are going to timetable it in. And as far as resitting the exam is concerned, there are, for those, so if a learner has failed the exam, still has, they failed an exam and were unable to make the June exam for whatever reason, they still have a resit available. I am aware of a couple of cases where learners are continuing on to their level 3 program and will retake that level 2 exam. The old version, because of course level 2 has changed, animal care, they can resit that in this academic year.
Okay, so we'll just wait a couple more minutes in case there's any last minute questions to come through. So we've just got a few more come through. When is a land and wildlife curricular plan expected?
There are not going to be curriculum plans for all 50 pathways of the technicals. Land and wildlife, there is a specific level 2 curriculum plan which will go up for one pathway next week, but they are not being written for all pathways. I think there needs to be a bit of a health warning here. Curriculum plans are merely a suggestion of how a qualification might be delivered. They are certainly not set in stone. And I think that people need to remember that they themselves, the lecturers in the colleges, are the experts at actually producing the documentation that decides what is delivered when. I suggest quite strongly, though, that using the mandatory content as your basis for building the programme, with health and safety coming first and optionality either running through long and thin or slightly shorter and fatter towards the end, has been a model that was applied last year.
The optional assessments are carried out under controlled conditions. Does this mean it should be an exam environment?
No, that is something that's going to be addressed further. What we are suggesting is that when the optional unit has a written component to it, which is summative in nature, of which quite a lot of it is now, that learners put together their work as they've done in the past with their QCF qualifications, but when it comes to that hand-in point, that they bring in their final versions that they sit and they submit together when they are in class together, and that helps to control hand-in dates as well.
If you release a synoptic task by task, do learners get 4 weeks per task, or is it 4 weeks to complete the whole assessment? So if you
Is this animal management? See, I can't see the live assignment, so I don't know which one they're referring to.
If you could just let us know which one you're referring to, please.
I'm guessing it's animal management because that's where the 4 weeks came from before. We can take that back to Quad and just ask for a little bit more guidance around those questions.
Is there a new password for animal level 2 synoptic, as the current password doesn't seem to work?
I would contact, for a speedy response, and because I'm sitting here, if I was you, I would contact moderation support, and that email address and phone number are actually showing on the screen at the moment. That's probably your quickest route through.
Go back to the previous question just before that. It was the synoptic one for animal and equine management.
Yeah, we'll take that into Quad and ask for clarity, as it's been asked more than once.
What has been the most popular mode of sitting the exams?
Oh,
Spring and then resit in summer, or summer and resit following January?
The most popular has been sit everybody in spring and then resit in June. It's centres that I've been talking to in the last couple of months who've been thinking that actually if they've got a learner on a 1080 programme, they might actually not go for the March exam and go for the June instead. And then if they don't pass that June exam, you've got the benefit of the maturation that will occur before they sit the exam again, and the point that the exams in all cases are based around the fundamental mandatory content, for example, with equine, with animal management, and therefore the exam is based on something that they will still be doing when they are in the second year, even if they're specialised. Okay, well, we haven't got any more questions that have come in, so thank you very much for attending. If you do require any further questions, you will see the customer service email address and the moderation support email address on the screen in front of you. Many of you, when you've registered, will have had Sarah Padell's email address from the National Land-Based College, and if anybody wishes to contact me, I am b.esdale, E-S-D-A-I-L-E, at cityandguilds.com, and I will support you as well as I can. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.